Statism. Is it the love of big government or the act of being in constant stasis, never moving forward? Well, it's both. Whether it's a big fat lie being sold as the cause of something awful, as in Benghazi, or a waning superpower trying to ease international tensions before a major sporting event. Can you ever trust the state? Benghazi is back on the burner, so is unemployment insurance and minimum wage. If people are never working again, well, we don't have to worry about wage limits, do we? Let's get to it. Welcome to the Independents. I'm your hostess, Kennedy, and welcome to the show. I'm joined by my wingman-in-chief. It's Reason Magazine editor-in-chief, Matt Welch, and also the other independent, the third in our trifecta, Camille Foster from Free Think Media. We are collectively the Independents. And joining us tonight is a legendary performer, writer, illusionist, juggler, all-around enigma. He's here to talk about Benghazi, free speech, and whatever the hell else we can throw at all 7'4" of him. He's the author of God No and a bunch of other books, including Every Day is an Atheist Holiday. It's Penn Jillette. Welcome, Penn.
Good to see you. How are you? I can't see you, but if I could see you, it would be good.
Pretend you're Tommy and feel me.
Yes, I will.
All right, very good. Excellent. Show's getting off to a fine start. The New York Times published an investigative piece over the weekend that, for many, put to rest some controversy about Benghazi. The Times piece suggests al-Qaeda did not have a role in the embassy assault, and the attack was mostly in response to a video denigrating the Prophet Muhammad. The story for us continues to be about free speech and the administration's quick reaction to the video. Now, Penn, back when the kerfuffle happened, were you surprised by the president's reaction and how terrifying is an administration that is so willing to stifle free expression?
You know, they didn't really stifle it. They talked about maybe they shouldn't be doing this, but they didn't actually arrest the guy. They claimed they were going to try to protect him. But it's the same thing as, you know, Charlie Manson. Charlie Manson said the Beatles told him in Helter Skelter to start a race war, and the LAPD did not take him seriously. They did not say, oh, you know, the Beatles did kind of step out of line writing about roller coasters. You know, it's the same, but that's changed. And now when Salman Rushdie writes a book, even the liberals in the U.S., when Satanic Verses came out, said, you know, they really shouldn't have done that fatwa, but man, boy, you shouldn't really insult religion. And the fact of the matter, it does not matter how short her skirt was, you cannot rape her. And even to bring that up, you know, to even bring up the fact that maybe some of our freedom pissed them off is deeply, deeply wrong. So even though they didn't really prosecute the guy, it still makes me crazy. We should celebrate the fact that we have things that are art that's done in our country that other people don't like, and we shouldn't even comment on that art. The fact that they even say the video that angered them wasn't that good, even saying that makes me crazy. It does not matter how short her skirt was.
Penn, I have a lot of friends who, I mean, I take your argument and agree with it very strenuously. I have a lot of friends who said, well, you know, the U.S. Embassy, when it was under attack in Pakistan and Egypt and elsewhere, when they were literally sending out tweets saying, you know what, we hate that video too, my friends will defend that, saying, well, look, they're under siege, they're trying to protect American lives. What's your response to the kind of practical arguments for throwing, you know, a Cerritos filmmaker under the bus?
I don't know. I don't think you can have practical arguments on freedom of speech. It so quickly dominoes to terrible, terrible things. I mean, we cannot say, I mean, I think the way the U.S. handled the Danish cartoons, the way the press over here did, was appalling. They should have been put up everywhere. I mean, the fact that some of the stuff we do is going to make other countries upset does not mean we change what we do. I mean, freedom is without freedom, if you start doing these pragmatic arguments, there is nothing worth fighting for.
Now, it's interesting, Penn. I for one, you know, certainly bristled a bit when I saw the intensity with which the the law professor-in-chief was willing to cast aside the First Amendment and sort of enthusiastically kind of throw this video under the bus and talk about this video over and over and over again. I'm totally with you. Certainly agree on free speech, but I do wonder about just lampooning religion in general. There have been some artists who sort of shied away from taking on Islam and from poking fun at the prophet, for example. South Park is an example of folks who have not. And I'm asking, you are in fact one of them. Could you talk about your own experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most damning thing you can say about Islam is the fact that when we did our show on Showtime, we were careful because we have families. I think there is nothing you can say worse about a group of people than you are afraid to speak to them. I mean, my cowardice shows how far out of what our idea of freedom is. I mean, one of the things I learned doing Penn and Teller BS on Showtime was how wonderful Christianity is. I am an outspoken atheist, and we did the strongest hits we could do against Christianity, and except for a very small number of people who were mentally ill, the Christianity had nothing to do with it, they were mentally ill, we got letters that were mostly saying, I disagree with you, but I like the passion with which you state it. When you see the way Christians are able to take criticism in the United States of America, it should shame religions around the world.
Well, and I think that's the hallmark of a well-investigated religion. And you said one of the other groups that you will not take on is Scientology. And Scientology does not have, they do not subject their beliefs to the same academic rigor that they do in Christianity and Judaism, and even in Islam. Are there any other groups other than Muslims that you won't make fun of or take on?
Well, the Scientology thing was actually a Showtime decision, and there may have been also some issues of commerce involved in that. They just didn't want us to do it. And then it also got pushed a little harder because Trey and Matt of South Park, in order to ridicule Penn and Teller, did their big South Park episode about Scientology and said, we're doing this because Penn and Teller can't. So there was just a little bit of ribbing that we had to take because we didn't take them on. The other reason we didn't take on Scientology, and perhaps the more honest reason, is that nobody outside of a very few within Scientology take it seriously. One of the things we found on our show was the shows were the most fun and the most interesting to watch when we were attacking something that at least someone in our audience had some sort of light belief in. So taking on Scientology was a little like taking on Ouija boards. There just isn't that much when you're watching it. You just kind of go, hey, wait a minute, I never thought of that.
Well,
maybe
one of them is much
nonsense.
more fun at a slumber party. All right, well, we'll have much more fun with Penn in just a bit, including Colorado's giving in to reefer madness. What are the ramifications for our criminal justice system? We will ask our guests in moments. Stay with us.